Hi, I'm Tim Sullivan from Sullivan's Travels, the East End, and today we're going to be attending a poetry series at the Marin
Russo, Professor Emeritus at Hood College, Maryland, former Dean of the Portsmouth School of Art, Washington, D.C. He is the youngest combat artist to have drawings and paintings in the Navy's historical records of World War II. His awards in painting include 2 Guggenheim Fellowships, 2 Fulbright Fellowships, Columbia's first Brevard Eikenmeyer Fellowship, an invitational visitorship to India from the U.S. Indo-Subcommission of Education and Culture, and an Edward MacDonald Award. He is the author of Profiles of Women Artists, University Publications of America, The Challenge of Drawing, Prentice Hall, 2 poetry books, Vignettes, Morris Publishing, and Poems and Images, Lil Breeze Publishing. In addition, his poems have been published in a number of leading journals and publications. He lives in the village of East Hampton, New York. Alex Russo.
Thanks very much, Sylvia. That was a fine introduction. I hope I can live up to it. Can you hear me all right without my hoarseness? My voice carry? Good. I brought along some brochures, some publications I've been in. And I think it's a good idea to read some published poems, which I'm very happy about, since, as you know, a poet writes a lot of poems, but has few published. The first one is in this publication, Westward Quarterly, it's called. And it's sort of a clue to the rest of my poems. It's titled How to Enjoy a Poem. I better get my glasses out for this. How to enjoy a poem. Divest yourself of all preconceptions. Forget what you've learned about poetry. Think of poetry as something being born right there in front of you as you read it. It has a life of its own. Perhaps it rhymes or doesn't. It may have only a few stanzas or many. It may take up half a page, or more. It doesn't matter if it's succinct or stretches into an epic. Taste each word as if it were a delicious morsel. Savor the flavor of a line as you would your favorite dessert. Think of spaces between words as little clouds where you can rest your mind after unraveling a metaphor. Don't look for this or that. Don't expect to find 2 yellow daisies in a field of blue-green clover, poised at the top of a hill. They might be tinged orange by the sunset, or blown away in a storm, or eaten by a hungry cow. Forget how the ocean looks, the rushing tides, the pounding surf. Forget glorious mountain peaks. They're all passing cliches. Expect the unexpected. Thrill to the new, which I hope to present to you. Okay, the second poem is in this publication, Third Wednesday, and it's titled Process Poem. I think you'll find a relationship between the first poem and this poem. Process poem. It jump-started itself without anyone behind the wheel, without any particular direction or destination. A robot clanking aimlessly down a long corridor, morning light flickering off its bald metallic head. That's a good beginning stanza. Makes me want to continue. Like a blind man with a cane poking along the edge of the street, tapping my cane until I bump into a body. which will be the next stanza, the one between the head and the feet. But if I'm blind, how can I tell what kind of a body it is, or whose? Now I'm becoming lost and confused, which makes me want to sing, I ain't got no body and nobody cares for me. But somebody must. Voila, I found the cue to the last stanza. It's supposed to be about someone I'll meet, the promise of fulfillment, fluttering expectantly in the cage of my heart. This one is in Moments of the Soul, an interesting publication. Short but full of interesting stuff. And the poem I have in this one is titled, How to Get There. Discard any drags, leave all arguments behind. Don't pack worry or doubt. Be prepared to discard voices telling you it's a hopeless journey. Give up all habits, even good ones, until you're hollow as a reed. Streamline yourself to eliminate friction. Try running with the wind. Look back. If you see a cloud of dust, run faster. If you're successful, you'll be running faster than time and will catch up with your former self. Before it can trip you, nudge it aside. Keep going until you enter a place of brilliant, blinding light. A metaphor for another metaphor no one can explain, but you'll know you've arrived.